Welcome back to Beyond Wisdom, where we explore timeless truths for a more peaceful and meaningful life. Today's video is about something we all struggle with at times: negative emotions, anger, resentment, fear, jealousy. They can take over so quietly that we barely notice we're feeding them. But what if you could break that cycle? What if you didn't have to feel like a prisoner of your emotions anymore? In this video, we'll explore how to stop feeding negative emotions and return to a calmer, clearer state of being. It's strange, but true. The more we fight our negative emotions, the stronger they seem to become. When we try to push away sadness or pretend we're not angry, we don't actually get rid of those feelings. We just trap them inside, where they keep stirring. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes constant effort, and eventually, it pops back up even stronger. But when we gently allow ourselves to feel what we feel, without judgment, something shifts. We stop feeding the emotion with resistance. We give it room to move through us instead of getting stuck. The key is noticing it, naming it, and letting it be. That's when it begins to lose its grip. Whatever we focus on, we feed. And emotions are no different. If we keep replaying a conversation in our head or telling ourselves a story about how unfair something was, that emotion grows. It becomes bigger and louder. Our mind starts looking for more evidence to support it. But if we gently shift our attention, even a little, the emotion begins to lose power. This doesn't mean we ignore how we feel. It means we stop adding fuel to the fire. We can choose to give our energy to something steady, like our breath, or the feeling of our feet on the ground. We can take a walk, listen to music, or simply ask, is this helpful right now? That small shift in focus can be the start of a very different day. Many of us were never taught how to process emotions. Maybe we saw anger used to control, or sadness ignored and pushed aside. Over time, these patterns became automatic. We react without thinking. But habits are just repeated actions. And the good news is, they can change. The first step is to become aware of what's happening. Notice what tends to trigger you. Observe how your body reacts. Then, instead of going down the same road, pause. Even a few seconds of stillness can interrupt the loop. Over time, with patience and kindness, you can train your mind to respond differently. You're not stuck with these patterns. They're not who you are. They're just habits, and habits can change. One of the most common ways we feed negative emotions is by judging ourselves for having them. We feel angry, and then we feel guilty for feeling angry. We feel anxious, and then ashamed of that anxiety. This double layer of emotion keeps us stuck. But emotions are part of being human. They aren't wrong. They just are. The moment we stop judging ourselves for feeling something, the emotion begins to soften. It doesn't mean we act on every feeling. It just means we allow it without shame. And in doing that, we create space for understanding, for healing, and for peace. Sometimes, the best thing you can do when you're caught in a storm of emotion is nothing. Just be still. Not every feeling needs to be solved or figured out right away. Often, when we give ourselves a little quiet space, the emotion begins to settle on its own. Like muddy water in a jar, clarity returns when we stop shaking it. Sit in silence. Go outside. Put your phone down. Breathe. In the stillness, you start to hear something deeper than the noise of the mind. You remember who you are, beneath the anger, beneath the fear, and from that place, new choices become clear. When you feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, try this. Bring compassion into the picture. It might sound simple, but it's powerful. Speak to yourself the way you would to a dear friend. This is hard, but I'm doing my best. It's okay to feel this way. I'm still worthy, even with this pain. Compassion softens the edges. It turns down the volume of the inner critic. And over time, it becomes a new voice in your head, a steady, supportive one that helps you move forward instead of keeping you stuck. You don't have to fight your emotions. You can hold them gently and let them pass through. There's a beautiful old saying, "The wolf you feed is the one that grows." In every moment, you're feeding something: anger or understanding, resentment or forgiveness, fear or courage. None of these emotions are wrong, but not all of them serve your peace. The more you choose patience, the more patient you become. The more you choose gratitude, the more grateful you feel. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means you get to decide what direction you move in. Even when things feel dark, you can light a small candle of kindness and choose not to feed the storm. Breaking the cycle of negative emotions isn't about never feeling them again. It's about creating enough space between the feeling and the reaction that you can choose something new. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are the awareness behind it. And in that awareness, there's peace, strength, and clarity. Life won't always be easy, but you don't have to carry every emotion that visits. Let some pass. Let others teach you. And through it all, keep returning to the quiet place inside you that's always still, always steady, always whole. What helps you stop feeding your negative emotions when they show up? We would love to hear in the comments what's worked for you. If this video helped you, consider subscribing to Beyond Wisdom. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay calm, stay strong, and stay wise.